Hi guys, it's Kate, and we're back to talk about choices. And one of the choices I want to talk about is our health, right? How do we deal with the health and the health of our families? There are so many options out there for you, and so what do you do? And how do you make those decisions if life is all about the choices that we make and how we respond to the circumstances around us? So, in our current culture, we can see the health stuff is a mess, right? And a lot of people think they have it all figured out. The truth is, we don't have it all figured out. Science certainly, in my opinion, does not represent truth. It represents the pursuit of truths, yes. But you also have to ask yourself, where are those truths coming from? Is there corruption within those places that are spitting out the truths in which we are all trying to base our decisions on? And so this got me thinking, okay, how do I figure out what to do for me and my family? What do we do when we are faced with health crisis? What do we do to keep ourselves as healthy as possible? And over the last few years, after having many encounters with the health field and actually working in the healthcare field myself, realizing they don't have all the answers. And actually a lot of times the healthcare field is a box, right? And everything has to fit within that box. And let's face it, God did not design us like that. We are not these perfect little things that fit and everything can be checked off a list. If you've lived longer than a few years as an adult, you know that is not the way life goes. And so we shouldn't be making choices based on a life that is that simplistic, that black and white. It's not black and white. So as you hear lots of controversy out there right now, that's not what this is about. It's understanding that it's controversial. And so you get to make a choice. And I would recommend listening to lots of different people. Don't just go and steer yourself in one direction and only hear what this one side said. Being trained medically, that's exactly what I did. I only thought from this one perspective. And then I had kids and we had life circumstances happen and I went only in this one direction for a very long time. And I discovered that they didn't have answers for me. And the answers they had were not that great. Not only were we using things that weren't the best for my children, our children, but they also didn't help very well. And so I ended up getting into more natural things and I ended up learning a ton and I am still learning. And so I'm excited as I continue to learn and grow in natural health and essential oils and just things that aren't always medicine. And I am not against using medicine. Medicine is wonderful when used appropriately. Medicine can save lives. Yes, 100%. So I don't want you to think that you should not be seeking medical care or treatment. You should be. However, what do we do first? What should the first thing we do if anytime anything happens in our lives, we are running to a doctor first and we haven't tried to figure out how to do that at home? That's not the way God created us to be. He created us to be in a community, and that there were women years before now who did life and they all helped each other and they cared for each other and they had a way in which they knew how to take care of certain things, and we lost that. People aren't helping neighbors anymore and there's not community like that anymore. I love the essential oils community I'm in because it actually offers a little bit more of that, moms helping moms, families lifting each other up and offering advice about healthy living and ways that we can prevent needing to go to the doctor. Because you know what? We don't need to be going to a place where there's a bunch of sick people unless we should be there. We certainly don't need to be spending the money on that either. I mean, I don't know anybody else, but health insurance is expensive, and so we should be using all of that appropriately, in my opinion. So that's where natural health came for me and for our family. Okay, so we get to choose, all right? Science is so busy pursuing the newest, the most novel, often the most expensive drugs. forgetting about all the lifelong things that have been out for years upon years and generations upon generations. And we've forgotten about all those things that also work, that are also helpful. And I want to talk to you about those things today. So when we talk about medicine, like I said, medicine comes with risks, right? There is no medicine that you put into your body that does not come with a risk. I don't care how safe and effective they say that it is. There's risks associated, and you should know those risks. You should understand those risks. Whenever any medication of any kind or any medical procedure is done for you or to you or for your children, for that matter. Okay, so everything is a risk. It's a risk to not take medicine. Okay, from that perspective, there's the choice to say, I'm not going to take it, and maybe you really need whatever it is they're offering you, and that's also a risk. And ultimately, in the end, you have to decide what's best for you and for your family, and also who you trust more. And I ultimately trust the Lord, my God, the most when it comes to everything. And so there's a lot of discernment that has to happen as we are looking and saying, okay, what is happening right now in the world of medicine? What truths have been hidden or not spoken to us in a way, because there seems to be this idea that we can't handle the truth, that we can't make decisions for ourselves anymore. And that's sad. Give us the information and let us decide what we believe and what would be best for our families. Because ultimately, and this is one thing I say all the time, that a doctor or a medical provider can offer whatever they want, but they don't live day in and day out with the decisions that are made. You do, okay? You live your life with any of the poor side effects that come with those medications or whatever it is that you take, or your children. You're the one raising those children and potentially raising them long beyond the time period that they were ever meant to be within your home and under your care. So those are really important things to remember. It doesn't mean that medical providers are bad and they don't want what's best for you, but they are not looking at your life in the way that you are looking at your life, okay? You are looking at your life from a larger perspective of, especially when it comes to our kids, I'm looking and saying, okay, I have this child, and we have to say what is the best, what gives them the best opportunities, and understanding that there are risks in both directions, all right, to treat or to not treat, right? And you as the parent or you as the patient should get to have all the information in front of you and truly decide what is best, right? Life is all about choices. So with that said, we ended up deciding to go a natural route, and I've learned so much. And there are certain things that we just do now because I've learned all about essential oils, and there's still so much for me to learn, and I can't wait to share with you everything I learned and bring you along for the ride. But we have learned to care for certain things that I used to have to run to the doctor for all the time, or run to the medicine cabinet and always be giving medicine. We don't need to live that way. And I want to help you see that you don't need to live that way, that there are other choices. And like I said, it's not that you don't go to the doctor, and it's not that you never use medicine. We just need to make choices, and we need to have discernment in when we go and when we don't. And maybe there are other, better, safer ways that we can do first. Okay? Do you know how many toxins are out there right now in the United States in the products and in the medications and in the foods, right? Cosmetics, foods, and other things that are allowed, all right? The FDA in the United States limits very few, most of the stuff that they allow. So you think you're putting these safe things in and on your children, and you're not. I mean, I remember when I found this out, it was mind-blowing to me. Absolutely mind-blowing. Like, wait, do you know that Europe has banned 1,300 chemicals in their products? We've banned 11, at least last I checked. Okay, that's staggering. It should be staggering to you that we are just putting all of those things on our bodies, in our bodies, to think that we shouldn't have to understand what's going on around us. We need to know, and then we need to be able to make our own choices about what we use. And so for our family, slowly but surely, because the truth is once you realize this stuff, it still takes time to figure it out and to begin the process of getting all of this stuff out of your house, to learn other and more natural ways to do things. But if you realize that the things that you are using, your laundry detergent, the soap in your shower, the soap you're washing your dishes with, the chemicals that are on our food, the different dyes and things that are in our food, just so much, and even just the risks to medicine, right? It's such an amazing time and opportunity to jump into natural things, okay? Not just essential oils. Essential oils is one of the easiest places to start, and because there's a simplicity a little bit to using essential oils to an extent, okay? Less is more. Start low and move your way up. But even just getting rid of the toxins in your home, that's why we actually chose a company that not only does essential oils, but also has tons of non-toxic products that use essential oils in those products. But we do our laundry detergent, our dishwashing soap, so many things that we now change. I've changed my perfume to being essential oils, just so many options. And why did we pick the company? So I picked Young Living, and I'm not here to say that there are no other companies that have decent oils. What I'm saying is Young Living is the company that I picked, that I researched, and that I realized I felt the safest with, okay? Because what you don't want to do is trade one evil for another, right? You don't want to think that you're spending a little extra money to get these safer and healthier things just to find out that they're not much safer and they're not much healthier, and yet you've spent a bunch of money on it, okay? So what I did was I looked to see, and Young Living has a seed to seal promise, okay? They actually show you how they make their oils. You can go to their farms. They have their own farms. They do it all organically. You can see how they do it, all right? It's important to understand the essential oils or the natural products that you're using, how they are made, and why that matters. So why do you think it matters? Why would it matter the type of essential oils? I mean, you could go right now and you could Google essential oils on Amazon, let's say, and you could come up with tons that are super cheap. And you could say to yourself, well, I'd rather spend $5 on lavender and look how much I can get, and it's great. But did you know that the way essential oils are made is they actually distill the oils out of the plants, okay? Now, anybody who's done chemistry or organic chemistry knows how the distilling process works, where you heat it up and it goes through this whole thing, and how long you distill matters, okay? The same with essential oils. How long you distill and how you distill matters. So, for example, all right, cypress oil, all right, has 280 chemical constituents, all right? 280. In order to make it having the medicinal properties that it needs to be called medical grade, all right? Which is what you want if you're using these for natural health or to increase the health in your family. You want them to be medical grade, correct? So did you know that the time we distill matters? So if you distilled cypress for 20 hours, you would only end up with 20 of those 280 chemical constituents. If you distilled it for 26 hours, you would end up with none, 0 of the chemical constituents. And if you distill it for 24 hours, you end up with all 280 chemical constituents. Do you know that the majority of the oils on the market only distill for about 3.5 hours? So what are you really getting? You're paying money for something that probably isn't helping you at all. You don't know what's in it. You don't know how they farm it. And so that is why our family chose a company we could trust, we could believe in, and we could really grow with. All right, we could grow. So as we started here with this little bit, so we just started, we bought our first starter kit, which is the best way to start with Young Living and with essential oils and getting into natural health and natural living, is you get a kit. So for like $400 worth of product, you spend $165, and you get a lifetime membership to get cheaper right? There's wholesale and there's retail. You want to get the wholesale price, okay? So that you can get those for a little bit cheaper. You can sign up for rewards programs, all of these things. But you start here, okay? And then Young Living offers so much more than just this. And so slowly but surely you add on a little more, and you learn a little bit more, and you add on a little bit more, and you learn a little bit more. And you know what? That's how I started. That's how everybody starts. And the one great thing about joining in with a place like Young Living is that you end up with a team of people and of women who love these same things, who are growing and learning together. And you know what? They want to help you. I want to help you. We want to link arms and help you on this new journey of natural health and understanding life differently. Because, like I said, you get to make choices. You get to choose. Okay, and so sometimes people will say, oh, that's so expensive. But honestly, in the end, it's not. It's not. Do you know how many less doctor visits our family takes? Do you know how many times we have figured out a different way to deal with something that doesn't require visits? Here's an example. My daughter, she had warts all over her fingers. I remember she was 2 or 3 when we first noticed them. We went to the doctor and they said, oh, it's just, a little wart, it's fine, it'll go away. Did it go away? No, they grew and spread. She ended up with 3 or 4 on her thumb. She had tons on her other fingers. I mean, by the time she was 5, she had warts all over her fingers. And we tried the salicylic acid, I tried the duct tape, I tried scrubbing them with like a little stone. That's what they suggested too. Can I tell you, not only did it not work, my child did not tolerate it well at all. And then came along essential oils. And do you know what we did? I took tea tree oil. I didn't dilute it. I tried it diluted at first because obviously, right, we want to start low and work our way up. I ended up just every night after she fell asleep, I just put it right over each and every wart. After about 6 weeks of doing that every single night, her warts were gone, okay? And I can show you pictures of these things. I'll include them in my Instagram stories soon and make sure that you can find the link to that. Every single night for 6 weeks, they were gone, and there was no redness, no pain, no discomfort associated. Come on, isn't that awesome? And I spent years trying to do it the other way, to go the medical route, to buy the medicines over the counter. But that's not always the best way to do things. Quite honestly, it usually isn't, okay? And so I want to let you know you have choices. And here's just one, okay? You have a choice to start a new life for you and your family, to link arms with someone who wants to help you, and to join a community of women who want to do what was meant to be all those years ago, to create this community of people who help you decide and discern choices when it comes to the health of you, your family, and your kiddos. So that's what I wanted to share. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment below if you have questions, and you can also find me on Instagram. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. All right, bye guys.